keep all your resilience up?
The charity is the saving point for me.
Is that Campese down?
Yeah, they've called for the stretcher on Campese.
No, I think it is when he steps.
So in a period of 24 months, I had 2 ACLs, a grade 3 pec tear, and a torn my groin off the bone.
Oh, shit.
So I was not in a good place. I had to do something to keep busy. And I always loved the community. I always loved getting out to hospitals, schools. There's no better feeling than putting a smile on someone else's face. So decided to approach a lady named Pamela Slocum in Canberra to see if she would help me set up the Terry Campese Foundation. I had a short stint in politics.
Really? Oh, best sledge you've ever had on the field.
Oh, the sledge was at me as Willie Mason.
Have a go or try something. You don't know what you're capable of.
Yeah, you need to. If there's something that's lingering around that you want to have a crack at, go and do it.
Today on the podcast, we've got a guy I didn't know that much about, honestly, until, Lenny. I was talking to Lenny about who we're going to have on the podcast, and she suggested to get Terry Campese on. And I didn't know that much about Terry at the start, but then I started doing some reading and worked out he's actually a fucking legend. He's a real deal. He played for Canberra, captain Canberra, New South Wales, Australia. And mate, a lot of leadership qualities in the field and off the field, and running the Terry Campese Foundation as well. Mate, it's great to have you on, and I think it'll be a really good chat. And I think, I think we'll both get something out of this one. So
awesome, yeah. I love jumping on podcasts and talking, especially about life and what we're up to. So thanks for having us, and yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, mate, awesome, thank you. So yeah, like you start off in Canberra. You were born in Canberra or Queanbeyan. Mate, what was it like growing up in Queanbeyan, like regional centre, similar to Townsville?
Yeah, it is. Very similar. Even now, it's similar vibes. Born and bred in Queanbeyan, which is a little suburb in New South Wales. I don't like to talk about that now that we've just lost origin, but a little suburb next to Canberra. So always the struggle town we used to be called growing up. But it was just like any regional town back in the day where you could just run out in the street and play with your mates, and if you didn't know where people were, you couldn't call on a mobile or text. You'd have to just walk around and see wherever the bikes were or where your friends were playing out the front, and that's kind of the lifestyle growing up, and just a lot of sport, which was awesome. Yeah,
that's exactly how we grew up, the same sort of thing. And when we were army kids, I lived pretty much all over Australia, but when we were in Canberra, it was always the Raiders. And you'd pretend to be either Laurie Daly, Mal Meninga, or Ricky Stewart. They were the three you sort of picked, because whoever sort of picked Laurie first, then you went for one of the other two when you were playing out there. So it was really good fun. And then, when I got older, we moved to Brisbane, and then you were either Wally Lewis or Alan Langer. You sort of picked one of those two to play. But it's the same thing. We used to always run around. You find out where your mates are because all your bikes are out the front, and we had this little patch of grass across the road. And, we used to play there. And we just, all afternoon, we'd play footy, and it was just really good fun.
Yeah, exactly the same. We used to do very similar, just call out our favourite player, Brett Mullins, with the chip and chase. So if you'd kick it over someone, you're Brett Mullins. And they were the good days. We could go to the river whenever we liked. There's a big river through the middle of Queanbeyan. We'd go there fishing and swimming, and you're always outside and always active, which was a beautiful place to... beautiful way to grow up. Unfortunately, these days it's not the same. You feel like you have to be with your kids all the time, don't you?
It's different. Yeah, it's different now. We got a 3-year-old now, and I feel like that's what it will be like. Yeah, and I don't know if I try not to be a helicopter parent or anything like that. You got to let them do their thing, but it just feels different. There's just, I don't know if it's just worse or there's more baddies out there or what from when we were there, because you did all those things. We used to play in creeks and you'd make a rope and all that sort of stuff, but I don't know, I couldn't imagine him just setting off, going down the bush and making a rope and swimming in the creek, and I don't know.
It would make you think twice, especially with everything going up here in Townsville at the moment with the stolen cars and the youth getting up to mischief. It would be hard to let your young ones just ride around on their bike at 12-year-old and
you don't
go
know
up to their mates
around the corner.
Yeah.
So growing up, like, who did you look up to playing footy or like in and out of footy?
Well, definitely my uncle, David, played rugby union, so he was my idol, someone I looked up to, and we used to drive around to watch all of his international games, and I used to love it when they played in Canberra because he would take me into camp with him and meet all the players. I used to sit in the hotel room and it'd be Adidas would turn up with all the football boots. I was like, wow, this is the best life ever.
That would be.
I grew up in a single parent home, so my dad was never around. David was the one that I aspired to be like, and pretty much wanted to be a professional rugby union player at the time, from the time I was a young kid.
Yeah, I thought that. Like being in Canberra, you would have been Brumbies.
Brumbies, Kookaburras first, and then they went to the Brumbies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was Reds because we're at Queensland. Always liked the Reds, and then and one of my cousins was real big on the Brumbies, so I started following them as well. Yeah, and I really liked David Pocock and a few of the guys in there.
Hasn't he had a career change now into politics? And he's killing it. He's really good.
He's got a really good following because he's authentic.
Genuine.
Yeah.
Challenges.
Yeah.
Challenges the things that normal politicians don't challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, so and it's just him. He doesn't have anyone to answer to. As much as some of the other guys have thought to go into politics afterwards, I think it'd be a hard gig because you're getting everyone to tell you what to do and toe the line, and you want to do that. You want to do the right thing by your team, but he's got himself.
I had a short stint in politics.
Really?
If you did some research or Google before, just before I moved up here, actually, was in the Labor Party going for local state member.
Yep.
But unfortunately, the ex-family and the person who was in the seat, just leaked some stories to the paper and made up a lot of garbage. So stood down. I lasted longer than Malba.
Yeah. So the path to NRL, like when you started watching Dave going to the games in camp with all the kit, that sort of thing, how did you go from playing footy into the NRL? How did that when did you realise that this is what I want to do and that you were good at it?
I knew from a young age that I loved it, and I was pretty handy at the game. I was a skinny little kid growing up with a lot of pace, so I kind of just used to run around them and run through them using my speed. But that soon went when I hit my adult age. But I was predominantly rugby union, so whenever league and union would be on the same day, I'd always pick rugby union.
Yeah.
Really up until I was 18 and had to make a decision. It was very late where I decided to play rugby league. So year 12, was playing both rugby league and union. I was playing A grade for the union team, the Queanbeyan Whites at the time. I had a bit of a disagreement with the coach at the time, and then went over to the Queanbeyan Blues, which is rugby league. Finished the year there in A grade, and then when I finished school, I had a decision whether I go New South Wales Waratahs, Brumbies, or the Canberra Raiders. They were the kind of three deals sitting on the table as a young kid, and it was a last minute decision, but decided to go to the Raiders. So finished my year 12 certificate. I was the first kid in, I have to throw this in there, but first kid in both my mum and dad's side to finish year 12, so it was a massive achievement.
Wow.
And then went straight into Canberra Raiders training.
Yep.
That was it. It was short and sweet. The decision was really quick, but one that I'll never regret. I loved my time, and learned so much and enjoyed it at the Raiders.
Yeah, wow. And then are there any particular moments from being at the Raiders that really stand out, when you were playing?
Oh, there's so many, but probably the 2008 season was my breakout year. Was rewarded with the Australian World Cup squad at the end of that, and then 2009 and 10 were pretty remarkable years as well. 2010 was named captain of the club, which is something that I'll cherish forever. To lead the team that you love and you've put so much time into, to lead them out on a weekly basis is a pretty special moment. And they're probably the moments that stand out from my 12 years at the Raiders. Yeah,
wow. And leading the team, did your leadership style change from going as a great player and a leadership figure when you became captain? Did over the period have you seen that change?
Definitely. I've changed every year. I seem to change my leadership style. I am a sponge and just want to learn from everyone around me, and test different things to see what works. But we had some difficult times as well through that period. We had, your Josh Dugans and Blake Ferguson's great guys. Todd Carney's, all the players that would have some off-field indiscretions. So it was a lot to kind of handle as a first, second year captain and a leader of the club. So
they were all over the media, and I forgot about Josh Dugan until you said his name. But yeah, because they had those cruisers up on the roof or something like that once.
Dukes, I think it was Dukes and Fergo, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that were up on the roof with the cruisers. That was at the end of the season. There's definitely been some tough times. But they've all made us grow as a leadership group, as a club, and them as people themselves have learnt and moved on from those experiences, and it definitely shaped who we are today.
Yeah, and it'd be hard being in the media like that, because I remember in my 20s, like you'd go out, you'd party, but there were no cameras around. There wasn't anything like that. We're just normal kids out having a good time, and no one was super rowdy or anything like that. But like even those guys, just because they got the public profile, everyone wants to talk about it. So yeah,
sometimes they put themselves in the spotlight.
Yeah,
as well with some of the posts and some things that they would say and put up on social media. So it's still big now, isn't it, with the social media and what people say. So some people use it for the right reason. Sometimes people put things out there that they probably should sit on for a little bit.
Yeah. I think I've fired off an email or two like that once or twice. You got to sit on it and let it be. And yeah,
exactly. Sleep on it overnight, then put it up.
Yeah, then put it up. That's really good advice. So transition out of footy, so playing career after that sort of finished. Is it then you started the Terry Campese Foundation? Was that afterwards or during?
During. So 2010, still captain of the club. Probably the biggest game I ever played in was a quarter-final at home in Canberra. We played against the West Tigers, a packed house. They had to get extra seating in. It was huge, and it was so exciting at the time. I had my firstborn a week before. Yep. So my girl Billy was born the week before when we knocked off Penrith in a big game. And then, I did my ACL, which was devastating. The biggest game I play in at packed house in Canberra, and then we end up losing the game to West Tigers and knocked out for the season. But this just leads into a bit of a story about the charity. Then my first game back at Canberra Stadium the following year, I tore my groin off the bone.
Oh, shit.
So I was out for an extended period once again, and then I think the following year, 8 games into my return, did my ACL again. So in a period of 24 months, I had two ACLs, a grade 3 pec tear, and a tore my groin off the bone. So I was not in a good place. It's a tough road coming back from an ACL injury. It's a 12-month recovery. You pretty much train on your own. You're away from the squad. You're isolated. All the things that make you question and yourself and your future. And I know it's only a short time, but that's just where your head goes with your mental health. So I decided to do something to keep busy. And I always loved the community. I always loved getting out to hospitals, schools. There's no better feeling than putting a smile on someone else's face, or taking them away from a tough day to shift their mindset. So decided to approach a lady named Pamela Slocum in Canberra to see if she would help me set up the Terry Campese Foundation. I didn't want to call it the Terry Campese Foundation, just wanted to set up a charity. And she asked me a few questions, and then she was all in. So From then, 2012 and on, we've had the charity. It's evolved over the years, but now we're bigger and better than ever, and we've got pretty much our programs that we want to run. And it's such a great thing that we have done, and couldn't be prouder of the charity and the people and the community that we've brought in. And it's such a great thing, and it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, mate, that's amazing. I think it almost sounds selfish, but you're helping so many people do all this amazing stuff, but you get so much out of it in return as well for doing it. It's like tenfold. You would feel good doing all of that.
Oh, every day I wake up, if I've had a bad day, I just think of the people that we help and the stories, and just know that we're changing people's lives and making it, a better community. So I jump out of bed and attack the day. And there's never one day that's the same. It's always different, but it's such a great thing. And now with our youth program, we have kind of changed the scope of how that looks. We do a 20-week mentor program with young people back home.
Yeah.
We have 2 volunteer mentors to each area, 8 kids. We used to take them to Lara Pinta or Kokoda. We used to alternate between the 2, but now this is our first year where we're doing a community project. So we're off to Tonga. Currently, as we speak, the kids are on their way over there, and we're building a library, a computer hub, a multi-purpose court, and renovating the electrical, putting fans and lights into the school over there in Tonga. And just changing and helping so many people with this process. This is going to help, I think there's 550 kids at the school, so it's going to help them now and the future young kids of Tonga. But what our young people get out of it and the difference that they will make will last with them and stay with them forever.
Yeah, and have you noticed that? So when one of the guys joins the program at the start, they might be a bit rough around the edges, or they come from not a good place, because it's hard. By the time they're sort of exiting the program, you notice a big change with them.
We have, yeah, definitely. Over the time, there's some really, really great success stories with the young people. Some aren't. You can't. Change the trajectory of everyone's life, but we're just there to show them that there is different paths, and you can change at any time, or you can take a different path at any moment. But in saying rough around the edges, so are our mentors. Yeah. Our mentors all come from different backgrounds and have their own story. So that's what I love about the program. They're all volunteers. Everyone volunteers their time, and it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of. And we love working with the young people and their families and seeing the transition over time. Yeah. And when they're in Tonga, and when we did Lara Pinta and Kokoda, I think the biggest takeaway is that there's no mobile phones, there's no social media, there's no texting. It's just all about how we grew up. Yeah. It's all about conversations and talking to your peers, and over time, with trust and growing confidence with each other, the conversations are beautiful, and people talk about things they've never spoke about before. So that's the biggest takeaway and the thing that we love most about it.
Yeah, I think not having phones is a big thing. A couple of years back, I did the hiked up to Everest for Leukemia Foundation.
Yep,
it was fantastic, really good trip. We had reception though the whole sort of way, and it wasn't until a week or so after that we went and did a tour around Vietnam, and I broke my phone. Had sort of the battery just wouldn't charge. Yep. So then we were in Vietnam and Cambodia for about 4 weeks. No phone, and it was just me and the missus, and I think it was probably for the first 4 or 5 days, I think I just kept going to pick it up. Yeah, but then after that, I was right in the space and actually enjoyed a holiday, and I think it took a couple of days to get out of the phone sort of, the whole digital sort of thing, and the phone and social, and wanting to post and all that and read what people were up to, and actually just live in the moment, talk to each other, have a great time, enjoy the holiday, and not be on your phone.
Definitely. It's always like that 24, 48 hours of bit of anxiety of not knowing and not, the habit of picking up your phone and checking socials and all the rest. But once that passes, you're just in the moment, and that's what we find on these programs. It's such a good thing. I think everyone should at least trial it at least once.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, break your phone, don't charge it. Go
Walk up Castle Hill without your phone.
Without it, just raw dog.
Start with an hour.
Yeah, that'd be a good start. And the other thing I noticed, like going to, and you might have found this, when we went to a whole bunch of different schools, you had different kids in different areas, different affluence, all that sort of thing. But I found you become who you hang around a lot of the time. Like, and if I was playing like say you're playing just social sport, DC grade, things like that, and then suddenly you get called up to A or B grade, suddenly you've got to play better. And then if you're hanging around better players, you play a bit better. Or if you're hanging around like some music kids, I was into music at one stage and everyone was DJing and all that, and that was a vibe, and you sort of really got into it. And then I went to another school and they were more into sport, and I got right into sport. But I found where we're at different levels, the kids that you started to hang around, you sort of acclimate to, and you I think that's probably some of the trouble with kids.
I love it. That's exactly what we're all about as well, integrating different worlds, and that's what we find. Like we've got 5 areas now.
Yep.
Country kids, city kids. We've got kids who love sport, music, all the rest, and they come together, and it's really exciting. It takes them a few days to start to connect with each other, but they find ways to relate.
Yeah.
They do. So it will generally be around the community side. So when we go to Lara Pinta, we go out to First Nation groups. That's where a lot of the connection happens. But yeah, it's really interesting to sit back and be a part of and watch. I love watching how they do interact and how they cross over each other's worlds. But that's a really good point that you raised, because kids at schools, they don't really do that. They sit and they isolate themselves to the groups that they know. They don't really talk with other groups. But in this environment, it makes them cross paths and connect.
Yeah, that's fantastic. When you had all those injuries and it was really hard, like how did you keep your resilience up? Like how did you push through? Like when it was really tough.
Yeah, really good question. The first one is the easy one. So it's just about fighting to get back on the football field at peak fitness.
Yep.
So if I went through my whole injury list, you'd be it's a bit crazy. But the charity is the saving point for me. I spent over 5 years on the sidelines, but the charity is the big part that kept me going, gave me inspiration, gave me purpose, and gave me something to really focus on. So, my I guess my message to anyone going through a tough time is try and find something that gives you that why. Gives you something to wake up in the morning, take your mind off what's going through yourself or what's troubling you and the difficult times in life, and gives you something positive to look forward to. And that's what the charity did for me.
Yeah, because it's not always going to be bad. You go through seasons and you will have like a bad season or a bad spot for a little bit, but it's not always going to be bad. There's going to be light at the end of the tunnel at some point.
Oh, 100%. You think about the first time you broke up with your childhood girlfriend. Those weeks after that is the worst time of your life.
It's tough.
But, it's when you get out of that period, there's so much more to life. There's
suddenly you wake up and you're like, hey, it's a new day.
It's all right.
Let's go.
I'll find another girl out there.
Yeah.
There's only millions and millions. And, but yeah, it's just trying to shift your focus to something where, you can be more positive.
So do you think people are more open to talking these days? Because when we grew up, like guys didn't talk about any of that sort of stuff, and you didn't talk to your dad about it, or like no one spoke about mental health. It wasn't a thing, and if guys did, you were like no one cried or anything like that. Do you reckon they're opening up a bit more
slowly?
About it?
Yeah, it's definitely they are slowly getting there.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of work to do in this space. There is still the stigma around, especially the older generation males who still think it's weak to speak, and who think it's like you're a pussy if you cry. But we're trying to. We run workshops in schools as well about regulating your emotions. That every single emotion is fine, is all right. It's just about how you act and how you work through that emotion. So it's all right to be angry, but you just can't lash out. You just remove yourself from the situation, calm down, some breathing techniques or whatever it is that puts you back and regulates your system. But I still think that there's a lot of work to do in this space. One of the things that we did through the charity, or that's a part of the charity, is called the Special Forces Challenge. In COVID, we couldn't raise money, and so we myself and my mate used to go to gym every morning at 5 a.m, and he'd jump in the car. I'd be still getting sleep out of my eyes, and he'd be just so enthusiastic. I go, how do you wake up? He's just one of those people that just loves life. And we were just talking about how we're going to start raising money again. And SAS was on TV at the time, that Ant Middleton show, and he'd give me an Ant Middleton quote every morning that he'd jump in the car and go, enough's enough. Anyway, one day it was just a light bulb moment. We said, let's create our own Special Forces Challenge and raise money. So from there, we started ringing around people. I ran into a girlfriend the next day at school who had her husband just stood down from the Special Forces, asked if he wanted to be involved, which he did. So we got 20 local people, candidates we call them, to jump in this challenge, and it's a 30-hour army challenge at the end. Raise money on the way. Anyway, where's my story going? Yeah, so it's been going for 4 years. We've raised nearly $2 million back home in Canberra. I've brought it to Townsville. It's called Breaking Point here in Townsville, and we've aligned with the Cure Starts Now in Eleni. So they've raised $80,000 already, and it's going to be in October, this challenge. So the point of my story is that this challenge we set up 4 years ago to raise money for the youth program. It was probably 2 weeks to a month in where me and my mate sat back and said, there's more to this challenge than what we think. The 20 candidates are getting a lot out of it. It's opening up conversations to them. It's helping them talk. It's getting them away from life. So they've got something to focus on. So we started doing like our highs and lows, or lows and highs, what we do with the kids, with the group. And the conversations have been amazing. And I'm just talking about this mental health stuff and blokes talking, but there's been so many people cry. There's been so many people open up about life. And it's just been, this has been singly the best project that I've ever come up with, or we've ever come up with. And even my mate Jeremy, who helped me set this up, he's one of them guys who was like, he never ever gets vulnerable. Yep. He literally now opens up about how he gets very emotional and cries, especially through this process. It's been such an amazing thing to do, and hopefully we can do the same here in Townsville with the Breaking Point Challenge.
Yeah, we have a real spiritual aspect to it, and I think it would open up everyone's networks too, because they're talking to people that they wouldn't normally talk to in their own business, their own circles. So not only good for mental health, but probably good for their careers and as well.
100%. That's what I love. I love the networking. I love people crossing paths that would never have crossed paths before, and then you see, we've seen people who you never would have thought become best of mates. Yeah. And now with the youth program, we've got people who have gone through the Special Forces Challenge who now volunteer on the youth program. We've got our homelessness bus called Queanbeyan Night Pods. We've got people who volunteer on that. So it's just this huge interconnection of programs and people helping each other.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Mate, crazy. Yeah, and it just started from actually doing something, just having an idea and having a crack and having a go. And I think I'm learning that now. You can sit in the shadows, you can have all these ideas, but unless you go out and actually have a go or try something, you don't know what you're capable of.
100%. Yeah, you need to. If there's something that's lingering around that you want to have a crack at, go and do it. Yeah. Or have a conversation with someone that might be able to help.
Yeah, go and talk to someone about it, or get a mentor.
Start a podcast.
Yeah, like this. Oh, mate, you're number 3 on here, and it is nerve-wracking to start, but I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, awesome.
Mate, it's fantastic.
This like podcasts are great, and people love them because it just opens up conversation that you wouldn't probably have.
No, because we, like you and I, probably wouldn't run into the street normally and have a chat, but it's great just sitting here, just chatting.
Chewing the fat.
Yeah,
I love it.
just chewing it.
Especially when we talk charity. Talk it all day.
Same. Like when we did the Leukemia Foundation for Mum, it felt like more than a walk. She got leukemia. She just felt a bit crook one day, went up to the hospital, and then they all sort of called us out into the corridor and said, hey, your mum's got leukemia. We said, okay, well, what do we do? So they started treating it straight away. And then we were up the hospital sort of, from January till October, and then she didn't end up coming out. But after that, Yeah, we did a bit of work with the Queanbeyan Foundation, and then ended up on this group, and we raised about 20 ourselves, but the group came to close to a little bit over 80, I think, between 10 of us that went up on the track. And it wasn't just for us, but it felt more than a walk. It felt more than a hike. Like you were doing something great. You were helping other families. You're doing what you could do to help people. And I think and it's probably age as well. I think the older you get, the more you want to help people, or you realize that the world's just not about you anymore. You can actually, and it feels greedy to do those things, or maybe not greedy, but I can't think of the word, but maybe selfish, because you get more out of it than what you give to people just by helping.
No, I think it's both. You're raising awareness as well.
Yep.
You also you probably overlooked the message that's getting out there and the amount of people who are interested and see the Leukemia Foundation. I think it's just helps everyone, and that's what it should be.
Yeah,
everyone out there helping each other.
So what for a kid growing up today, what do you think sport can teach them besides the sport part? Like, sport's part of it, but outside of sport, what do you reckon kids will learn?
I think with not just sport, music, dance is sport, but whatever it is that you're interested in, it teaches routine, it teaches turning up when you say you're going to, and it keeps you connected. Connection is huge. I believe that's where you build friendships, where you get to meet people and talk. But I think the routine and giving your purpose is big, and whether it be sport or whatever it is that you're interested in, it definitely helps. And if you don't have anything to do, if I wake up and know that I've got nothing on that day or a few days, I get so bored. I start causing a bit of havoc if I don't have purpose in my life.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, same with that. So I've got a thing now that wake up and it's kind of like the morning bubble or the morning. You sort of set your tone for the day. You wake up, you think about what you're going to achieve for the day and what tone you're going to be in, and you sort of go for it. And I find if I don't do that, or if I don't think about it, or if you don't give yourself 5 minutes to think about what you really want to achieve for the day, then the day sort of takes you sometimes, and
Definitely
just runs away, and it runs you instead of you running it.
No, I think routine and something to look forward to is always a good thing.
Yeah. What if say you got a room full of young aspiring athletes or emerging leaders? What's one bit of advice you'd like to give them?
It's always I've never been huge on massive goal setting, but I think there's always little paths to get to where you want to be. So whether it be, if you want to be a professional rugby league player, your goal shouldn't be play NRL. There should be little steps to get to there. Yeah, that's right. So I think little goals or little targets to try and meet, whether it be I want to get to every training session in the next 6 months, or I want to increase my how fast I am. So what does that look like? And then peel back the layers where, all right, I want to do some extra speed work, at every session for 10 minutes. So I think, small goals to achieve your big goals is a really good thing, and definitely helps. Yep. It keeps you on track, and it helps you try and achieve the big picture.
Yeah, because in my own experience doing that, like sometimes you get this big rush of energy and you want to do everything at the same time. So then your gym, food, work, all this stuff, you just pile all these extra chores, not chores, but goals you want to do, but it's a bit much, and then you do it for 2 or 3 months and it disappears. So if you do have a smaller goal, and then you get used to operating at that level, like doing it and then like stretching to the next level, adding one more thing in, and then doing that, and then adding one more thing in.
When is the time when you think all of that happens? There's one time a year when all of these big picture take place at once, and it's just not sustainable. When is that?
Yeah, New Year's.
New Year's. So New Year's, the next day, everyone, the biggest diet, going to the gym. It's just not sustainable, is it?
No.
So it's good to think that way, but you can't keep up. So implement small changes throughout the year.
Yeah, I think that's great. Right, like, say, handling criticism over the years, because you guys are in the spotlight all the time. Have you? And same with us in real estate. Like, it's hard. It's hard to handle criticism sometimes. How do you handle it?
Track down who said it. No, it is very hard, especially when social media first came in. It was
brutal.
ruthless. It was brutal, and some of the stuff that you see now is just uncalled for.
Oh, you get lunatics in the back just firing fucking messages. Oh.
Yeah, well, there's the guy that I don't know if you all saw, the guy who is the Dragons fan, and he used his professional account and was bagging out Flanagan and his son and the club, and he just got banned. They've banned him
someone
now.
from Newcastle did too. They found him and took him to court.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago, and he sent a message to someone saying, you should die, blah, blah, blah. It was really
Schiller.
abusive.
That was Schiller.
Yeah.
The winger. So he's ex-Canberra. I did see that, so I didn't know that he went to, that they did take him
Yeah,
to
they
court.
tracked him down, and I think they arrested him, and he's in court. I don't know what's happened since then, but
Yeah, so like people still apologise to me now about putting their opinion forward about certain players and team, and everyone has and should be able to put their opinion forward, especially if you're a member or a fan of that club or team. That's fine. That's normal. But it's when you cross the line, which definitely you shouldn't be able to do, especially those guys that we just spoke about. But criticism is a part of the game. You have to be able to get a bit of a thick skin, and some of it take on board, and depends who it comes from. Criticism from your coach or some of your teammates or family, constructive criticism is perfect. It's the only way to grow as a person. So some of it you got to learn to what to take on board and what to just let slip by. The tough one for me was growing up in the hometown where I played, and when my mum used to cop the criticism. That's when I literally brought me to tears sometimes.
would it make you want to go berserk and just yell at people or go and thump them? Go and find their addresses.
Because sometimes even like some of the stuff my mum would hear or get told, she would like, she thought it was real and true, like me throwing away games and things like that. Like, so she would get upset, go, Mum, please, like, you know me better than that.
Yeah, that's not me. But people are saying it, and you would take it on board, and you get so upset. Like, if someone's saying anything bad about your family, it's a nerve.
Yeah, I'm a 40-year-old man now and still a mummy's boy, so that was a tough one. It was when when she was involved or family were involved with some of the stuff.
Yep. So balancing your identity after footy. So you like as a big I think it'd be hard. Like, you're coming out, like everyone knows who you are. You're playing to big crowds and things like that. So like coming out after that, was there anything like, did it feel weird?
It's the weird thing was not to be told where to be, what to wear, how to eat. That was the hard thing. It's almost like the army.
Yeah.
I would, very similar, where everything is set for you. So that was definitely the hard thing coming out of professional sport. But the thing that I would recommend to anyone, and it comes back to community. I went from, professional rugby league here in Australia. I went to England for a couple of years. But then when I come back to Australia, I already had an A-grade club to be involved in. So I went to coach the Queanbeyan Blues, where I started. So I always had that sense of a belonging, a connection through sport still, and a sense of purpose.
Next? Yeah.
So I think the big one was I never went straight from sport into the mines, where I had no connection to my love, where I'm still involved in sport. So I've actually transitioned really well. I haven't, there hasn't been a day that I've questioned any of my decisions. So I've been very fortunate in that space. I definitely have mates who have, and they're generally the ones who have gone straight from sport to work and not had any connection whatsoever.
Yeah, and it'd be hard with the mines because your roster's like, 2 on, 1 off, things like that. You're away from your friends, you're away from your family. You're probably doing a job you don't
really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a big one. I know money's important. Like we went from huge salaries, probably to 10% of what we're earning with our everyday job. That is also pressure and very tough. So you have to start planning that years out, where a lot of people probably aren't, so good at that. Which
no one teaches the guys money. Like you young kids, super talented. 19, 20. Yeah, here's 200,000 or here's 300,000 or even more these days. And then they're just running around in their pockets. They're buying all the nicest kit, but not thinking of, hey, it might only be 10 years.
Yeah, or free kit.
Or 3, yeah.
When you're playing, you're earning the most money you ever earned in your life. You're getting all this free stuff as well, which you take for granted. Then hang on, I've got to go and buy a pair of ASIC shoes. How? What? $200? No. So it is. There's so much in the transition, and some do it better than others. And I know the NRL are getting a lot better at it. There's still some improvement, but it's definitely a tough one to juggle.
Yeah, I find it even with young agents, like the free time. Right now, we're really established. We know what we're doing for the day. We know what our jobs are and chores and the things we have to achieve by the end of today. But as a young guy starting out in real estate, like people just give you a phone, they give you a desk and say, hey, go for it. Yep. And back when I started, it was like a phone book, and you used to look through there, find names and work out who owned a house and start trying to call people and say, do you want to sell your house? And I didn't know what to say at the start or anything, but you sort of work it out. But that was the hard part, was free time, because you got to manage it. And people sitting there in these days, like young guys, they get super used to being on their phone. They'll probably just sit there and scroll. Or they'll look at realestate.com and they're not really working. They're just, your day's gone by the end of it and they haven't really achieved anything. So knowing how to manage your time after that, I think will be key to having, having results, but knowing what you want to do and move forward with everything and not just, getting stuck.
Definitely. Time management and, not being afraid to ask the question. Like even as a real estate agent, there is people out there that are willing to help and will help you, but a lot of people have a lot of questions that they just don't ask.
Yeah. They're scared to ask. They don't want to feel like they're hindering someone else, or they don't want to feel like that people will think they're dumb because they're going to ask it, or they don't want to go, oh, hey, look, that guy's too busy, I don't want to ask him. But one of the things I found a couple of years back, I did the Emerging Leader program here in town. And that's how I met Eleni, and she was fantastic. And the mentor I had at the time was Pat Brady, and one of the things that we used to do, he said, well, Matt, who do you want to meet? And I said, I don't know, can we meet this guy? And he said, yeah. So, the next time we caught up for like a mentor-mentee meeting, we'd invite that other person along for, breakfast or coffee or whatever it might be. So we got to meet them. Then we got to meet some other people, and it just opened up our networks like that. And, all these guys have been around a long time, and they generally want to help people. And unless you ask them, it'll be end up saying, and because if someone phoned me and said, hey, Matt, I want to get into real estate, and I'd talk to them every day of the week and show them the pathways or what to do or how to get into the space and help them, but no one really asks. Yeah,
there is people out there that want to help and generally care about the industry they're in. You just got to ask the question.
Yeah. So if you do have a drive or where you want to go, then just ask someone. But hey, some rapid
questions.
Rapid fire questions. You ready to because I know you got to shoot too. So you've got a couple of meetings on the Sav, so.
Big one to the Savo.
Yeah, with your meeting with the cows.
With the cows, exciting.
That would be
exciting for the town, actually.
Oh, you can't divulge anything then.
Oh, it's just about affiliation, so we can talk about it. As we know, when I joined a club 2 years ago, the Blackhawks, now we're a coach. We're in a transition period and went with South Sydney.
Yes.
Which is our affiliation club, where this year is the final year of that contract, so it's renegotiations. So this afternoon is negotiating with the cows again. Yeah,
I was so surprised that they went to South, because we're so local here, and it just seems like the normal transition.
We just spoke about everything from negativity and criticism and all of that. So I was new to town from Queanbeyan, from New South Wales in Queensland territory, and we've signed with South Sydney Rabbitohs. So imagine how I felt.
So what's going on?
But it's been a great time up here, and hopefully all negotiations go the right way for both clubs.
Yep.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so rapid fire questions. I know you're only new to Townsville, but if you did have unlimited funds, like where would you have you found any suburb spots? Where would you buy or build?
Really good question. There's so many areas here that I love. I currently live in Queanbeyan, but if I had unlimited funds, it'd be on the hill. Let's go.
Right, the hill's nice up there.
View,
view.
a pool.
Yeah.
A really good entertaining area.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you go for a modern home or over a Queenslander style one? Have you got used to Queenslanders up here yet?
No, I haven't lived in a Queenslander, but I'll go modern.
Yeah.
Modern home. Yeah, if unlimited funds. Let's get everything. Let's even build a bridge to Maggie.
Okay. You know they were going to do that in the war.
Oh, that would be
There
awesome.
was plans. They were going to pretty much blow Castle Hill up, take all the rock out of that, and build a bridge to the island.
Oh, there's words that come that I can't use, but thank God they didn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that hill, but it'd be good to have a bridge over there.
Bridge, but not to lose the hill.
No, not to lose it.
Nah.
Yeah, they could probably do it these days without the.
Yeah, unlimited funds, we'll build one. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
From my garage.
Yeah, favorite ground to play at.
Oh, just so many. Canberra Stadium, I loved this.
Yeah.
That's where I was. But I really don't know. Weird one. I really loved Leichhardt Oval.
Oh,
Tigers home ground. Just the old school where the fans are standing up. You can hear them. You can actually feel the spit when they're yelling at you. Yeah, like that's a random one, but that's probably my favourite outside of Canberra Stadium.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I get that. Best sledge you've ever heard on the field.
Oh, the sledge was at me as Willie Mason. I've said it with Donnie from Power or Star now. He called me cat's hair, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And then when I was talking to the boys afterwards, because of cat's hair is thin, and I was starting to thin out on top. So, yeah, that was one. And then from then on, everyone called me cat's hair. So he got me.
Did you shave your head after that?
I've shaved my head every day since.
I would have. There's nothing worse than leaving a little bit there. As soon as that starts to go and I get a bit of cat's hair, I'm shaving it. Yeah, if I ever get that. If you could play one more game with like against anyone, who was your favourite to play against? Like competition.
Play against. Oh, always used to battle with Billy Slater. I was very loud on the field, and so was he. So we had some good sledges. Very competitive, both of us, and so I always used to love playing against Billy. Melbourne Storm have always been the best team. You know, they've pretty much been the pinnacle for 20 odd years now, since Bellamy's been there. So
They're so structured.
Very structured. They all know their place. Everyone who goes from, like, if they need someone to come in, which we saw last week here at against the Cows, they've got a team that not many people would know the players, and they've gone out and did the job.
Yeah, and they still got us.
So
Yeah, I agree. Bush footy or Friday Night Lights.
Oh, Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Playing in front of a crowd would. That's the question I was going to ask you before, but it's the mine. So you played Origin. What I love Origin is the best game in the whole world. I love my NRL, but Origin is just the peak. Like
Pinnacle. Yeah.
It's the best against the best. What was it like playing it?
I loved it. My experience was a little bit different to what I pictured in my head. I only played the one game. We played in Melbourne, so the crowd was a fair bit away. Camp leading into it, we're out in the sticks, so there was no media around. So very different to what I had, pictured in my head. And we played against Queensland during the pinnacle when they were just
8 in a row.
smashing everyone. Greg Inglis, Israel Folau, Billy Slater, Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, Darren Lockyer. And I got dropped after game one. I was thinking, what can I do against these guys? Wow. Anyway, but still, it was still a very proud moment, and one that I'll remember forever. Just different to how it played out in a little kid's head growing up.
Yeah, putting on that jersey and running out the sheds and coming down the tunnel like that. Yeah, that would be something special.
Well, I think like the big thing that probably everyone would be able to relate to, you think the first night you hear all these stories about team bonding and blokes getting to know each other. I think there was 5 of us who had to be in the squad, everyone was just so nervous because Queensland was so good, and that's probably one of the reasons why. Like, we didn't connect and we didn't, get to know each other off the field before we started, playing.
You don't think of you guys getting nerves? Like,
I was keen to get to know everyone. I wasn't nervous yet. It was still a week and a half away until we played. But, it's still back of your mind. Look at this team that they've named.
Yeah.
How are we going to beat them?
It's pretty intimidating.
But, Queensland did it again this series. They went out there with the, New South Wales were tipped to win three out of three. And
and after that first game, you thought they were going to.
Yeah, exactly.
We got pumped. But last night's game, I think, was not just because I like Queensland players, but it was the most clinical game I think I've ever nearly watched. Like, they didn't make a mistake, and they put on some big hits, but they chased everything, played really hard, and just did what they were kind of meant to.
It's the Queensland spirit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me as a New South Welshman, but just they keep doing the job. They turn up for each other, bringing Papali back, I love that.
That was a good idea.
Oh, like, people were thinking, what are you doing? You're bringing one of the oldest guys in the game back, Gemma Shibasaki, who was a Blackhawk last year. He has his origin debut in Game 3. Everyone's going, why wouldn't you put Reece Walsh in, who's got experience and is, the star of the future? But, they just keep doing what they do, and it's, credit to them. You got to take your hat off to them.
Yeah, that was a really good team.
Yeah.
I agree. So what's best teammate you ever had? Do you have anyone that stands out?
Oh, plenty. There's so many over time. The one that definitely always used to pick us up after a bad game, when you were feeling down, is Joel Monaghan. He was a larrikin, and he would do anything for you when you need him. So he could be serious at times, very rarely. He was always the jokester, but he was one of the guys who would get you back on track, so you weren't, depressed from the game for too long.
I think everyone needs a Joel on their side then.
In life.
In life, yeah.
Anywhere, he's always brings the mood. You always laugh, and laughing is the recipe for everything, for illness. Love. There's nothing better than laughing.
Yeah, you just feel good, and you can shake whatever that thing is off.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there did you have a ritual before a game or anything like that?
Oh, I used to listen to only my home games, and it wasn't too much of a listen to music man, but I'd put a certain CD on in my car on the way to the game. Yes, CD. Young people know that. And I'd play it at a certain point, and the two songs were Dixie Chicks, Travelin' Soldier, and then it would go into By the Way from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, good song.
Two very different songs, but I don't know. They're the songs I played.
Yeah. Well, you get hyped up for things. When I started out my career, to get hyped up for like a listing, you're going for a big house, so you want to get all excited to be there. Like, I used to put Enter Sandman on. It's my favourite song in the world. And so I'd sit in the car like 3 or 4 houses down from the house you got to go to, and I'd just put it on, pump it up, get excited, and then I'd go knock on the door.
Just sprint to the front door.
Yeah, I'll be ready to go. That was my go-to.
Awesome.
If you could leave one last question then before we wrap up. If you could leave a message on like a billboard, like here or back in Queanbeyan or anything like that, one message for everyone to read up on.
Oh, wow. That's a big question. Oh, it would have to be down the lines. I don't know. Is it like life's too short, so you're going to make the most of each day, or something along the lines of that.
Make the most of it. That's a great message.
Yeah,
make the most of every day. You don't know what tomorrow brings. Yes, and don't put off tomorrow something you can do today.
Yeah, a good one. Yeah, you've just answered it for me. Perfect. Something along the lines of that, because you could be having the best time of your life today, and something tragic can happen tomorrow. Or, so you're just going to make the most of every minute. Create memories. Boom.
Yeah, create memories. I like that. Great memories. Oh, mate, Terry, thank you. Mate, it's been a pleasure having you on. I thought I'd enjoy it, but not as much as I have. It's fantastic. It was really good to meet you. And, mate, you're an inspiration to not just anyone in Canberra or Queanbeyan, but mate, everyone up here as well, and around the world and around the Pacific. Tonga next week, building a library there.
Awesome.
if anyone wants to get in touch with yourself or Terry Campese Foundation or how to donate, and with the Cure Starts Now and the Breaking Point Challenge, what's the best way to reach out and do that?
Any of your socials, so Terry Campese Foundation's on Instagram or Facebook. Also the website, terrycampesefoundation.org, I think it is. So jump on there, and then the Breaking Point and all the different projects that we've got are on there, and you can send us an email. So, yeah, pretty simple.
Right, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Great,
Thank you all. Legend.
Appreciate it.